Alright, so I'm doing a video recording here. It's going to be a phone call that I'm doing with that is a director of a local group here, which I guess is rape doctors, that if you're raped, they go to you and they, do their rape kit type stuff. And I'm not against that. What I am against, though, is they have a billboard, and on this billboard it says, just because you take her home doesn't mean that you can have your way with her. Basically saying that if you take a woman home, it doesn't mean you can rape her. Duh. But my thing is this. That's a highly misandric billboard, and I mean, it's on a major street in downtown Albuquerque. So I'm going to call and see if I can get her to possibly change it. I don't care that they have doctors that go to you and perform rape kits. That's cool. That's a good thing. But I'm going to ask her how she would feel if there's a billboard that says, just because you don't like him doesn't mean you can accuse him of rape. Let's see what she says. I have a sneaky suspicion that she's not going to like it at all. Okay. Let's give it a shot here. Hi, how are you? My name is Joe. I was calling because I kind of had a bit of a concern over one of the billboards that I had seen. Um, it seems like a highly misandric billboard.
Highly what?
Misandry?
Okay, I never heard that word before.
You've never heard of misandry? Well, you've heard of misogyny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, misandry is the polar opposite of misogyny.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, how do you spell it?
M-I-S?
Mm-hmm.
A-N? D-R-Y.
D-R-Y.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry for
Okay,
that.
so on this billboard, I mean, it really makes
which billboard are you referring to?
it's the one. It's on Cole, downtown.
Over by the bridge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, and on it, it's the one that states, if you just because you take her home doesn't mean you can have your way with her. And I mean, that's kind of common sense. But the way the billboard is worded and suggested, it suggests that all men believe that just because they take a woman home, that they can have their way with her. I mean, how would you feel about a billboard that said, for women, that said, just because you don't like him doesn't mean you can accuse him of rape? I mean, that would be misogynistic. And the billboard on Cole is misandric.
Okay. What the billboard on Cole says is, just because you help her home doesn't mean you get to help yourself.
That's right.
And what it's suggesting is, don't be that kind of a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And the young men see this, and I've had a couple young men look at it, and I had them on tape give their opinions of it.
Uh-huh.
And the opinion is that billboard is basically telling all men that the consensus among men is that they can rape a woman if they take her home, which just isn't true. Most men are not rapists. Just like most women don't falsely accuse men of rape, but I'm sure you'd take issue with a billboard that said, just because you don't like him doesn't mean you can accuse him of rape.
All right, but what the data suggests is that most men don't label some of their behavior as rape when in fact it is. Most men, many men, believe that if I get a woman drunk enough and she can't consent, but she's not saying no, she's not getting up and leaving, then it's okay for me to have sex with her. And they All right, but what the data suggests is that most men don't label some of their behavior as rape when in fact it is. Most men, many men, believe that if I get a woman drunk enough and she can't consent, but she's not saying no, she's not getting up and leaving, then it's okay for me to have sex with her. And they
Wait a second. Did you just say most men believe that if they get a woman drunk?
Many men men.
Many men? Do you know what? So no, it's not most men this and most men that. And I take really hard offense when a little man looks at me and says, so what? So this means that most men are going to rape? And I have to explain, no, that doesn't mean most men are going to rape. That doesn't mean most men believe that.
About most men raping. What the billboard says, if you help someone, don't use a woman who is intoxicated. If you're helping a woman who's intoxicated, don't use it as an opportunity to sexually assault them.
I understand that, but the way the billboard is worded is it makes it seem like you're saying that most men who are around a woman who is intoxicated are going to take advantage of her. And that's just not true.
Well, and I don't see where you feel that the billboard says that.
It says
it doesn't say anything about most men.
It's a billboard that has this huge thing, and you yourself said that you believe that many men do, which is just absurd. I mean, less than 2% of the male population amongst millions of men. That's just not. That's absurd.
Okay. Sir, I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Okay?
Well, see, and the other thing that gets me is
raping women out there. It is a public health crisis.
There are many men raping women. So you're saying that many men rape. So what percentage of men do you think rape women?
Sir, it doesn't even matter. The fact of the matter is women are being raped, and it's not okay.
It is, but your billboard words it in such a way that it makes it seem like most men rape. Like it's something that is so out of control, and it's just not. It's misandric. It's misandry.
You know what? Rape is out of control. If there's even one rape occurring, it's out of control.
That's true, but that doesn't mean you can make a billboard that labels most men or makes it feel like most men will do that, because most men don't.
Okay, well, let me just say this to you. These billboards were not designed in a vacuum, okay? They were designed with a lot of input into how to make a message effective.
Okay, well, why couldn't you just say, hey, this is what we do. We have nurses where if you've been raped, we'll go out and we'll help you out. We'll do a rape kit thing. I mean, you don't have to have this thing saying that makes young men, I'm talking like ages 14, 15, 16, 13, around there, say, wow, you mean most men are going to rape? So they had to put a billboard up there to say, hey, guys, don't rape. Of course men don't know. Of course men know not to rape. That's common sense. And the ones who do, they're idiots.
True. That's not true.
What? Most men don't know to rape? You're saying most men... What?
Okay, you can use the word most and many. The fact of the matter is that the men who are raping oftentimes have not even described their activity as rape. And so what our billboard is trying to portray is that if a woman has had too much to drink, then that is not the time to think it's okay to have sex with her, because that is rape.
And that's common sense. I mean, a guy who doesn't know that is an idiot. And the thing is, the way the billboard is worded is it makes it seem like most of the men out there will. And that's just not true. It's highly misandric.
Okay. We obviously have different perspectives about the message in that billboard, okay? And this is probably, it's been up for 4 weeks now. The billboards were up for probably 3 months last fall. Yours is the only phone call that I have received that has found those objectionable. And in fact, most of the responses that we get are that they have a very powerful message.
See, but my thing is when a young man looks at me and the billboard sends him a message saying that when he gets older he's going to most likely be someone who, when a woman's inebriated, that he's going to take advantage of her, and I got to explain, no, it's common sense, and most men don't. This is just a very small percentage. But then when you have a bunch of people, and different races, different ages, but they're all men, and they say, wow, yeah, that billboard is kind of like saying, it makes me feel like it's saying most men will do this. I mean, that's a problem.
So you've actually had a focus group?
Yes.
To speak about that billboard?
I'm an MRA, a men's rights activist, and if you go to YouTube, I have several videos on there, focusing on men's rights and things like that. It's White Knight 418. You can go to YouTube and look it up. And
say that again. What's it called?
White Knight, WHITEKNIGHT 418. That's my channel.
Okay.
All right, and things like this are just absurd. I mean, it makes it feel like, well, most men rape, and 90% of men are going to rape, so we got to put up this thing to make sure that guys know. Of course guys know. I mean, you could have gotten your message across just by saying, hey, if you've been raped, we are counselors, or we are doctors, and we'll do a rape kit, or whatever it is that procedures that you guys do.
We're trying to get in front of the problem, which is to discourage men from taking advantage of women who've had too much to drink, whether they're the people deliberately.
Okay, so why not put something on there saying very few men rape, or something saying that? The way the billboard is messaged, it makes it seem like it's saying most men will.
All right. Again, I don't understand how you see that billboard is saying that most men will rape.
Because it's okay. Look. Okay.
Take advantage of a girl who's had too much to drink.
Here's the thing. Okay, would it make sense for me to put up a billboard saying, just because you don't like the guy that you just had consensual sex with doesn't mean that you can accuse him of rape? Would you take offense to that?
If you put up a billboard that said, just because you don't like a guy, you can accuse him of rape?
No. I'm saying, if I put up a billboard that said, just because you don't like the guy that you just had consensual sex with does not mean you can accuse him of rape. Would that anger you?
Do I think it's an appropriate billboard? No.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
agree.
Right there. Okay, right there.
Now, not a reason to claim rape.
Now, right there. Now, hold on. Right there. Equality is this. Equality is if you can switch it and it doesn't make sense, then it's not equal. So here you have a billboard saying, just because you take a woman home and she's drunk doesn't mean that you can take advantage of her. But if that makes sense to you, then the other sign has to make sense to you. Just because you don't like the guy that you just had consensual sex with doesn't mean you can accuse him of rape. And if that one doesn't make sense, then the other one can't make sense either.
Okay. I have to give that some thought. All right. You've been thinking about this perspective a lot longer than I have.
Well, it's because I have young men, and I don't do this for the men's rights movement. I don't care about the men's rights movement. I don't care about the feminist movement. The only thing I care about is the fact that our young men today are being hounded and pounded from all kinds of different directions, and I see it firsthand. You know, I mean, it's just...
You know what, I don't disagree with you on that. I think all of our young adults and our youngsters are being assaulted by the media in more ways than I can imagine.
Yes, they are.
Ways.
Yes, they are. All right, cool. Okay. At least we agree on that. But, I mean, the thing is, it's not... I don't think it's cool to have a sign that makes it seem like it labels most or the majority of men as people who will take advantage of someone when they're inebriated.
What our billboard says is, the premise is, don't be that guy.
Right, and most guys are not that guy. Most guys are not that guy. Your billboard makes it sound like that study from the Southern Poverty Law Center, you know, quote mining and things like that. It makes it seem like, you know, most men will do this and just don't be that guy. Yeah, that's common sense. Most men are not.
Well, what about those individuals who don't have the common sense?
That's a very few. But the bottom line is this: if the billboard that I said that I could put up doesn't make sense to you, then the billboard that you guys put up shouldn't make sense either.